Ladies and gentlemen, I was delighted to have been asked to contribute a few thoughts at the opening of your meeting organized by the Associazione per l'Agricultura Biodinâmica on the theme of our common planetary home. Now, it seems ever more clear that the way in which we manage farmland in the future will be of central importance to ensuring the future ecological health of our planet. Economic growth alongside unsustainable population growth is today one of the most powerful drivers behind a range of disturbing ecological trends that include deforestation, climate change, depletion of natural resources, and the mass extinction of animals and plants with which we share our planet and on which we depend ultimately for our survival. As the economy has gathered more and more global momentum, so these trends have become increasingly serious. For a long time, the prevailing view was that environmental damage from growth in the economy was an unavoidable price that had to be paid to improve human well-being and reduce poverty. In order to favor one, we had to ignore or tolerate damage to the other, to cannibalize ecology for economic gain, or so the thinking went. Now, I suspect that many people have always known deep in their hearts that this view was wrong. And now, as more and more evidence emerges of the damage that we have been doing to the natural systems that support every aspect of our existence, it is clear that we must urgently change this deeply embedded and dangerous thinking. Achieving a secure and prosperous future for humankind requires us to accept that healthy economies depend on healthy ecology and to behave accordingly. In other words, we have to allow proper room for nature, to rediscover how to work in harmony with her and to restore a sense of the sacred once again. Otherwise, we seem hell-bent on testing our world to destruction, simply because we have become the prisoners of the kind of scientific evidence-based reductionism that precludes the adoption of a precautionary approach. If the planet were a patient, no responsible doctor would ever have allowed it to become as sick as we have made it. Yet, for more than half a century, industrial farming methods based on chemistry instead of biology have prevailed, upsetting the harmonious balance of nature, degrading soils, decimating the biodiversity which once coexisted with food production, and diminishing the health and vitality of the food we eat. Now, ironically, we are witnessing a sudden growing concern around the world about soil health and fertility. The response to this, however, seems inevitably to be based on the usual industrial technological approach. Of course, Rudolf Steiner was one of the first people to recognize the interconnectedness of soil fertility and the vital health of plants, animals, and people. He also understood the concept of ecosystems, arguing that, and here I quote, "a thoroughly healthy farm should be able to produce within itself all that it needs." Sadly, his visionary advice was not heeded, as a result of which intensive farming has prevailed and has been responsible for the destruction of much of the world's natural capital, including our forests, soils, and the diversity of animals, plants, and insects, which used to coexist with farming and upon which food production ultimately depends. The practice of growing crops continuously in the same fields year after year and confining farm animals, taken together with global marketing, all characteristics of our food systems today, would surely have been an anathema to him, because such systems fail to respect the fundamental laws of nature in terms of recycling and harmony. As we witness the destructive impact of industrial agriculture on the environment and on the health of crops, animals, and people, nearly a century after he gave his agricultural lectures, we can only marvel at the prescience of Rudolf Steiner's thinking. So many of his suggested solutions remain absolutely applicable today. Although we are not practicing biodynamic farming in the strict sense of the word at my home farm at Highgrove, both my farm manager, David Wilson, and I have drawn considerable inspiration and useful lessons from the concept of biodynamic agriculture as outlined by Rudolf Steiner in his agriculture lectures. It seems to me that achieving secure and sustainable food systems for future generations will require us to accept that healthy food and farming are umbilically linked to a healthy ecology. So rather than separate nature from agriculture in the way we have been doing, we need to reintegrate them and rediscover how well they can work together in harmony, as outlined in my book on that theme. Now, there is no doubt in my mind that at a deeper level, most farmers have an underlying understanding of these connections and know in their heart of hearts that agrochemicals and monocultures are doing harm. And in an ideal world, I dare say they would much prefer to care for the land in their charge in ways which would benefit future generations, adopting a more holistic approach and considering the extremely negative impact of agrochemicals and artificial fertilizers on ocean ecosystems once they're washed out to sea. But unfortunately, due to perverse policy incentives, they are trapped on a treadmill of intensive production, leaving them little choice but to use exploitative methods, producing food whose apparent cheapness fails to reflect its true costs of production. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt in my mind that due to the remarkable resilience of nature, much of the natural capital which has been lost during the chapter of intensive farming could be reinstated if only there was a fundamental shift in perception and a realization of the vital importance of an agroecological approach to restoring soil health and biodiversity. In that connection, I was enormously heartened when I attended the recent Paris COP21 summit just before Christmas to learn of the so-called 4 per 1,000 soil initiative proposed and promoted by the French government, which is based on the idea of encouraging farmers to farm in ways that build up carbon in the soil rather than in ways that release it into the atmosphere, a feat that can only be achieved by healthy living soils. The potential is huge. The targeted improvement in soil health and thus increased carbon uptake would be enough to offset over 75% of current annual emissions and ultimately help decarbonize the atmosphere, thereby helping to save the oceans from further acidification, which otherwise seems inevitable. We can only hope that this proposal is taken forward through the application of enlightened farming techniques, such as the reintroduction of cover cropping and fertility-building crop rotations using grass and clover. Once again, this seems to me an approach which is absolutely in line with the philosophy that Rudolf Steiner was advancing nearly a century ago. Above all, we need to reinstate that basic truth, that nature is our collective home, and that the air, water, land, and ecosystems that we all rely upon are the ultimate source of both wealth and well-being. If we can heal this crisis of perception, then it seems to me that everything else we need to do will become so much easier. Ladies and gentlemen, as one of the oldest and most distinguished of environmental organizations in Italy, I can only salute your long-standing and heroic efforts to preserve the ecological balance and the vigor of the earth. I send you my warmest and most admiring wishes for a successful meeting and my fervent hope that you can make progress in this most pressing of tasks to ensure our future food systems become infinitely more sustainable.